Well, isn't that how you start a video looking at the Openside Flankers in the player power rankings ahead of the World Cup? A player that's a bit left field, maybe you weren't expecting. A player that's got a massive future, young, but has had a huge impact on this Scotland squad already. And bearing in mind, Hamish Watson was one of the best players in the world only a couple of years ago and isn't quite at that level now. Rory Darge seems like he's got the heir to the throne for that one. So, yeah, he's number 10 in the Openside Flanker list. I will go through the rest of the top 10 after I've just reminded you. I'm Tim. This is Egg Chasers. And if you haven't already, please do hit subscribe, give a thumbs up on the channel and get stuck in the comments. This should feel like a conversation we're having at your local rugby club and debating where who's right, who's wrong. So tell me what you reckon to these. I've got loads of content coming through the World Cup, heading to France on Tuesday, there for 7 weeks, getting you as much stuff as I can from fans, from team hotels, from the games as well. So I love that you're on board for that journey. At number 10, Rory Darge. Number 9, Jack Willis. A rare entry in the player power rankings for an England player. But even in a poor England team, Jack Willis has looked good when he's had the opportunity. Still relatively early in his England career, although after the World Cup, he won't be eligible to play for England because he'll be playing in France and will be ineligible. I hope they change those rules because he's an awesome player. Number 8, Jack Morgan. It's quite a young start to this, isn't it? Quite relatively newcomers to international rugby. A reminder that this is based on kind of current form, historic form, and also just a bit of a gut feeling on my part. And in the case of Jack Morgan, Wales co-captain, he's been compared to Sam Warburton a lot. Plays at Openside Flanker, can play across the back row, and plays at Openside Flanker and has had a massive impact in a short time for Wales. Just a real tough player. And I think he's awesome. And if you don't just take my word for it, Sia Khaleesi has been raving about this kid. So that's high praise indeed. I'll take that. Jack Morgan at number 8. Number 7, Sam Kane. And I'm going to stick up for Sam Kane. I think he gets a bit of stick unfairly. He's closing in on 100 caps for New Zealand. And you don't get that many appearances for the All Blacks unless you're a very, very good rugby player. He has been playing well recently, I think, in the Rugby Championship. I think the problem Sam Kane has is that he's always compared to Richie McCaw. I mean, Peter O'Mahony compared him to Richie McCaw quite unfavourably in that Ireland series victory last summer. I'm not going to repeat the word that Peter O'Mahony used, but you probably know the one. But I think, being compared to Richie McCaw, and particularly being the captain of New Zealand after the last 2 captains that were in the back row were Kieran Reid and Richie McCaw, it's a pretty tough act to follow that, isn't it? So you're never quite going to live up to those expectations, but just on merit, he's a very, very good player. He's at number 7. At number 6, Michaela Lamaro, another captain of an international team, 25 years of age. He's had a brilliant couple of years for Italy. He was the captain when they won their first game in the Six Nations in 6 years? And they've had some really good wins against top opposition. They're massively improving. Will feel a bit hard done by the draw. If they can get out of that Pool A with New Zealand and France, then Michaela Lamaro will have had a massive part to play in that. Make no mistake. Just watch him in the national anthem. No one belts out an anthem with more passion than this guy, and he plays with that exact same passion. A great player. At number 5, Marcus Kremer, who was higher in the list previously. Just 6'5", 120 kilos, rapid, strong, only 26 still. He's got a lot of rugby left to play. He's just an all-round athlete. I love Marcus Kremer. Fearsome competitor. And as an Englishman, I'm a little bit concerned that he looks to be fit and available for that England v Argentina game this weekend because he makes a massive difference to their back row. He's my number 5. Number 4, Lavani Botia. They call him the Demolition Man because that just tells you the way that Lavani Botia plays. He is explosive. He can play and has played international flanker, centre and wing. You have to be seriously talented to be able to do that. This guy is seriously talented. 2-time European Cup winner with La Rochelle for his club and awesome whenever he plays for Fiji. Hopefully, for Fiji, he's going to be back and available for that Wales game. We'll find out soon enough. Number 3, Sia Khaleesi, who, let's just remember how remarkable it is that he's even out there playing on the field. And to come and play in the 2 games that Sia Khaleesi has played since coming back from that really serious injury, to be playing at the level he was playing at in those 2 games, blew my mind. It was remarkable against, what was it, Wales and then New Zealand. Did not expect him to be at that level so quickly. So I could quite happily see Sia Khaleesi at number 1 on this list by the end of the World Cup. For now, he's number 3, and that's incredible in itself, being as he's hardly played in the last year. But what a boost for the World Cup. And absolutely, of course, for South Africa that he is there, because as people, as characters, as ambassadors for the sport, as human beings, there are none finer than that man. Number 2, Josh van der Flier. A lot of people have sort of suggested he's had a bit of a dip in form lately. I mean, it's hard to keep up the level where he was, the best player on earth a year ago. So I think that's a bit overblown, the dip in form. But I have got him at number 2, down from number 1. But what a player. Josh van der Flier is an amazing all-round rugby player. But especially, he's a great defensive open-side flanker. He's at the breakdown, he's a complete menace. Makes tackle after tackle after tackle. Slows down opposition ball. And that's one of the traditional jobs an open side does. The reason that the player I've got at number 1 is at number 1 is because he does that. And what an attacking threat Charles Olivon is. Doesn't he always seem to pop up on Antoine Dupont's shoulder? Dupont makes a break and Olivon's right there. And then can gas it in from 40. How many times have you seen Charles Olivon score from like 30 metres out? Just afterburners on, and he's in. That's because he's athletically an unbelievable specimen. I've stood next to him, and it's impressive. The guy is just an impressive specimen. But he's got the top 2 inches as well. He reads the game so brilliantly, and that's why he seems to pop up right time, right place all the time, because he's just got it up there. And what he's also got is leadership skills. And doesn't he just look like the kind of guy? It looks like he's the kind of guy that it would fit him lifting up the William Webb Ellis Trophy, doesn't it? A bit like Sia Khaleesi. He's got that talismanic quality that marks him out above the others. So there you go. That is my list of open side flankers. I would love to know what you think about that. Where have I got it wrong? Who have I missed? Tell me. Get stuck in the comments, and I will see you on the next video.